nice even bead. I'm able to control this speed by the variable speed trigger. No rippling effect in that bead like you typically get with other guns that have material that cold. Another great feature to this gun, you heard that auto reversing sound when I let off the trigger? What that is, almost made a mess. What that is an anti-drip feature. Basically, when you let off the trigger, you're going to get the clutch that automatically releases, and it's going to relieve all the pressure inside this tube. So I'm sure all you have readers who are used to running a bead of caulk, and then they get to the end of their work and let off the trigger, and it just keeps oozing out. It's a big mess. This is going to avoid that problem. When you get to the end of the bead, that's another story now. So when you get to the end of the bead and you're working with glass installation and you have to make a turn, what do? You pick the gun up, you walk to this side, you continue running this bead on this side. Well, the problem with that is the more breaks in that bead, the more seams that you create in that bead, the more moisture you're going to get in there. So when water gets into those seams, that could potentially lead to a leak, especially with windshield installation. The Milwaukee gun, you're able to cleanly drive the material, stop, you can actually turn and keep that nozzle tip right on the surface. So you're not picking up your bead, you're not creating a joint in the material, or a seam in the material, and continue on in the other direction. So that's the force. That's we made some significant increases in force. Our other gun was rated right around 500 pounds. This gun is going to be rated at a constant 950 pounds, so major increases. Next is flow rate control. So I'm sure you've seen these guns in the market today. I'm almost out of material, but most of these guns have these little dials. These dials control the speed at which the plunger rod's moving. Well, that's great, but say you're running a bead of caulk and you're doing building restoration and you're running the bead that's 40 feet long, and all of a sudden you come to a seam or come to a joint that narrows out and you have to get a little bit more fine with your work. Another gun, you run, you stop, dial it in, keep going, no, that's still not the right flow rate. Well, the Milwaukee gun, keep it at full speed, and you can control the width of that bead just by the trigger. So whether you're working with a joint that's this wide, 2 inches wide, or something that's down to, a matter of millimeters, you can control that finely with the trigger design. And then finally, we got a couple new accessories that we're bringing over. These are new to the M18 system. They're new to our caulk gun program in general. First of which is a new piston design. So this is the standard piston that you see in the market today with cordless guns. This came off our old gun. Well, this piston, it drives on a plunger rod, reaches the end of travel there, and what do? You get this left. This is about 2 to 3 inches of a sausage pack. These sausage packs can range from $10 to $20 a piece. So if you're wasting 5–10% of every single sausage pack that you use, and you're doing 20–30 sausage packs a day, it adds up really fast. The new design actually has a cone that reaches up into the nozzle, so it gets all that excess material out of the pack. So you can imagine the money, the time you're saving over time with this new piston design. So as you can see, there's going to be 4 different configurations. You're going to have a 10-ounce cartridge and an aluminum 20-ounce sausage barrel. Those are both going to be available in the September time frame. You're also going to have a plastic sausage barrel. Why that's important? Well, plastic sausage barrel, if you talk to someone who's used to using an aluminum sausage barrel, probably one of their biggest nuisances is it's driving, all of a sudden there's a rip or a bag wrap inside that barrel. Well, they don't know that, so they pull that material back into the gear case, and all of a sudden you have a gear case, you have a tool full of gunk that you got to get cleaned out. That's a lot of downtime trying to get that thing serviced. Well, the new barrel design for a small premium, you can actually see what's going on inside that barrel at all times. It's not a very easy execution. You may think it's something very simple. Why hasn't it been done a lot in the past? Well, it's very difficult to engineer and design a plastic tube like that can handle the pressure without deforming. It's also difficult to manufacture one that doesn't dissolve with different types of solvents and cleaning material out there today. So these 2 September, you'll see this one later on this year, and then finally there'll be a quart size accessory kit for conversion. So if you do have a reader, customer who's using 10-ounce cartridges all day long, and then all of a sudden he's going to a big project where he wants to switch to cartridges or cork cartridges. He doesn't have to go